The richest 1% now own about a third of all wealth in America. That's more than the bottom half combined. And here's the shocking part. The gap isn't closing, it's getting wider every single year. Most people think the rich stay rich because of luck, connections, or family money. But there's another reason. Wealthy people don't just add, they multiply. They see opportunities that create new opportunities. They build systems that grow even while they sleep. Once you understand this way of thinking, you'll see why some people build unstoppable wealth while others grind for decades and stay stuck. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So why do the rich get richer while everyone else struggles? This question keeps millions awake at night. It frustrates hardworking people who feel like they're running on a treadmill, putting in effort but never really getting ahead. In this video, we're going to break it down. Not with politics, not with wishful thinking, but with psychology. The way the brain actually processes money, decisions, and opportunities. Here's what most people don't realize. The difference between those who build lasting wealth and those who stay stuck isn't about working harder or having better luck. The real difference is a mental shift so fundamental that once you make it, everything changes. By the end, you'll know the thinking pattern that separates wealth builders from everyone else. You'll see why your brain, left alone, often works against wealth, and you'll walk away with a simple framework you can use right away. This isn't theory. The principles you're about to hear have been tested in research and proven by history. The difference between financial struggle and financial freedom often comes down to this single shift in thinking. But here's the thing, most people never even know this shift exists. They spend their whole lives wondering why some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities while they have to fight for every small win. The answer isn't what you think. Think of it like this. Imagine a snowball rolling down a mountain. Most people focus only on the snowball itself. They notice how big it is right now. They calculate how much bigger it gets with each turn. They think in terms of simple addition. Small snowball plus a little more snow equals slightly bigger snowball. But some people zoom out. They see the whole slope. They see how each turn makes the snowball bigger, faster, harder to stop. They understand how size creates speed, and how speed attracts more snow. They see multiplication at work. That's the difference in how wealthy people approach decisions. Most people think in terms of addition. I invest $1,000. It grows to $1,100. That's a $100 profit. If your investments never feel like the snowball, you might be resetting the hill every month without noticing. Wealth builders think in terms of multiplication. I invest $1,000. It grows to $1,100. That extra 100 gets reinvested. Next year, I'm not just earning on the first 1,000, I'm earning on the 100 too. But it doesn't stop there. That process teaches me how investing works. That knowledge leads to better choices. Better choices create bigger returns. Bigger returns give me more money for larger investments. Each part multiplies the effect of every other part. Here's where it gets really interesting. That initial investment grows money, confidence, knowledge, and a small network of other investors. So why do most people think in straight lines while a few see in compounds? The answer isn't intelligence. It isn't talent. It's wiring. Your brain evolved for survival, not for wealth. Thousands of years ago, life was dangerous. Food was scarce. Predators were everywhere. When our ancestors saw a lion, they had seconds to act. Fight, run, hide. Survival depended on fast, simple decisions. See danger, react. See food, eat. See shelter, stay. That wiring is still inside you today. Your brain is built to favor quick results. It looks for immediate reward and clear outcomes. Scientists call this present bias. We naturally prefer what pays off now over what pays off later. That bias kept your ancestors alive. But in today's world of money, business, and opportunity, it quietly works against you. Think about it. Saving for retirement feels boring. Scrolling your phone feels rewarding right now. Investing in education feels slow. Buying something online feels good instantly. Your brain pushes you toward the quick hit, and that's why most people stay stuck. But there's another psychological trap at work. When most people imagine the future, they picture it as a straight line. If I save $100 a month, in 10 years I'll have $12,000. Simple addition. They can't naturally visualize how compound growth accelerates over time. They can't see how small advantages today become massive advantages later. Their brain treats the future like a longer version of today. But here's what wealthy people do differently. They don't fight their brain, they redirect it. They train themselves to see long-term rewards as exciting. They make the future feel real in the present. When they invest, they don't see a sacrifice today. They see a system starting to grow. Have you noticed how wealthy people light up when they talk about projects that won't pay off for 10 or 20 years? It's not because they don't care about today. It's because they've trained their brains to see those future gains as a win right now. They've learned to feel the excitement of compound growth in their bones. They can visualize how today's small action becomes tomorrow's big result. They trained their rewards to fire for the future. And there's another difference. Most people see money as spending power. How much can I buy with this? That mindset treats money like fuel. Once you burn it, it's gone. Wealth builders see money as creating power. They ask, what can this build over time? That mindset treats money like a seed. Once you plant it, it grows. This shift in perspective changes everything. The same dollar that feels like a small purchase to one person feels like a future income stream to another. The same opportunity that looks risky to one person looks like a calculated step in a larger plan to another. Here's the best part. This isn't fixed. You don't need special genes. You don't need to be born into the right family. The brain that thinks in straight lines today can be trained to think in compounds tomorrow. Wealthy people didn't start with perfect psychology. They stumbled into patterns that worked. They noticed when small advantages turned into big ones. They practiced until spotting compound opportunities became instinct. You don't have to wait decades. You don't have to learn it by accident. You can practice it on purpose. And when you do, the results begin to snowball faster than you expect. So how do you actually make this shift? How do you train your brain to think in compounds instead of straight lines? Let me share a framework that changes everything. The first step is learning to spot multiplication opportunities. Every time you face a choice, pause and ask yourself 3 simple questions. What will this create beyond the immediate result? How might this connect to opportunities I can't see yet? What will I learn from this that makes me better next time? These 3 questions turn your brain from addition mode into multiplication mode. For example, let's say you get a bonus at work. Most people ask, what can I buy right now? Addition thinking. But if you ask the 3 questions, you see more. You could invest it and create future income. You could use it to build a skill that raises your salary for years, or you could put it into a system that keeps producing opportunities. That's multiplication. Here's another example. You're considering taking a course that costs $500. Addition thinkers focus on the cost. That's $500 I won't have anymore. Multiplication thinkers ask the 3 questions. What will this create beyond the immediate result? New skills that could increase your earning power. New confidence in your abilities. New network connections with classmates and instructors. How might this connect to opportunities I can't see yet? Better job prospects that value these skills. Freelance possibilities in your spare time. Business ideas that emerge from the knowledge. What will I learn that makes me better next time? How to learn more effectively. How to apply knowledge practically. How to invest in yourself strategically. Suddenly, that $500 cost looks like the first step in a system that could generate thousands over time. The second step is practicing delayed gratification. This one is tough because your brain loves instant rewards, so start small. Instead of spending your next $100, invest it and watch what it grows into. Instead of buying something today, wait 30 days. Then calculate what that money could become if it were invested. Do this consistently, and you're rewiring your brain to see that future wins can be more exciting than quick hits. But here's a trick that makes this easier. Don't just delay the gratification. Replace it with a different kind of immediate reward. When you choose to invest instead of spend, celebrate that choice. Feel proud of the system you're building. Make the act of choosing long-term success feel good right now. Here's a tiny test. If I gave you $500 today or $1,000 in 12 months, which would you pick? Your first instinct tells you how your brain is wired. The third step builds learning into everything you do. This is where the real compounding begins. Most people look at an investment and ask, how much money will this make? Compound thinkers ask, what will this teach me? Every investment teaches you about markets. Every project teaches you about business. Every conversation teaches you something about people. And here's the secret. Money compounds, but knowledge compounds faster. Think of it like a video game. Every level you play adds skills you carry into the next level. Even if you fail one round, you learn tricks that make you stronger the next time. Wealth works the same way. It's not just about dollars, it's about stacking skills and stacking lessons until the game feels easier. Step 4 involves tracking your systems, not just your results. Most people track only their income and expenses. That's addition thinking. Compound thinkers track differently. They track how many income streams they're building. They track how their network is expanding. They track how their skills are improving. They track how their assets are working together. What gets measured gets multiplied. Imagine two people at the gym. One steps on the scale every day and checks their weight. The other tracks their strength, stamina, flexibility, and nutrition. Guess who transforms faster? The second one, because they're measuring the system, not just the result. Wealth works the same way. Create a simple tracking system. Maybe it's a spreadsheet. Maybe it's a journal. Track things like how many new skills did I develop this month? How many new relationships did I build? How many income streams am I working on? How is each investment performing? And what is it teaching me? The 5th step is surrounding yourself with other compound thinkers. This is the environment shift. The people around you shape what you see as normal. If everyone you talk to is focused on what they bought last weekend, you'll think that way too. If your circle talks about what they're building, what systems they're creating, what opportunities they're spotting, that becomes your normal. Linear thinkers talk about spending. Compound thinkers talk about building. Choose your circle carefully. This doesn't mean you need to abandon old friends, but it does mean being intentional about adding new voices to your life. Join investment clubs where people discuss strategies, not just stock tips. Attend entrepreneur meetups where the focus is on building systems. Follow compound thinkers online who share their processes openly. Read books by people who built systems, not just made money quickly. The goal is to normalize the language of multiplication. When building wealth becomes part of regular conversation, your brain starts seeing it everywhere. Here's a quick exercise you can do right now. Pause this video, think of your biggest financial goal, write it down. Now ask the 3 questions. What will achieving this goal create beyond just money? How could it connect to future opportunities? What will I learn on the way that makes me better at the next goal? If you can't answer those, you're thinking in straight lines. Reframe until you can. That's how you begin the transformation. Let me share 2 stories that prove how powerful this shift can be. These aren't just theories. They're real examples of compound thinking in action. The first story is about Warren Buffett. In his early 20s, he started investing small amounts of money. At first, he was like everyone else, trying to guess which stocks might jump next month, looking for quick wins. But then he noticed something. Every time he studied a company, he learned a little more. Every time he bought or sold, he sharpened his judgment. Even the mistakes taught him lessons he carried into the next decision. That's when it clicked for Buffett. The real win wasn't just the profit. The real win was the compounding knowledge. So he changed his approach. Instead of trying to get rich fast, he focused on buying excellent businesses and holding them for the long haul. Year after year, those businesses grew. But even more importantly, his skill at spotting them grew too. Then something unexpected happened. He started writing about his philosophy. Letters, essays, insights. People noticed. His reputation began to compound. Reputation brought new opportunities. Opportunities brought bigger deals. Bigger deals brought more capital. More capital brought entire companies under his control. But here's where the compound effect really shows its power. Those decades of patient investing didn't just make Buffett wealthy, they made him wise. That wisdom attracted other wise people. Those relationships opened doors to opportunities that money alone never could. His network became a source of deal flow. His reputation gave him access to information others couldn't get. His track record allowed him to raise massive amounts of capital from other investors. Decades later, he was running Berkshire Hathaway, one of the most successful investment firms in history, not from one lucky bet, but because each win fed the next. Money, knowledge, reputation, opportunity, all compounding together. Buffett didn't just build wealth, he built a system that multiplied itself. Now let me share a story you might find even more relatable. A woman in her 30s was working as a marketing manager earning around $60,000 a year. She could have settled, do her job, collect her paycheck, repeat. But she started thinking differently. Instead of asking, "How do I get a raise this year?" she asked, "What skills can I build that will multiply over time?" So she volunteered to run her company's blog. It wasn't part of her role. It didn't pay extra, but it taught her content marketing. That skill turned into freelance work on the side. The freelance income went into online courses. The new courses taught her advanced digital strategy. Those skills qualified her for bigger roles. But here's where compound thinking really kicked in. She didn't just learn digital marketing. She documented everything she learned. She shared her insights on social media. She started building an audience. That audience became a source of freelance clients. The client work taught her more about different industries. The variety of experience made her more valuable to employers. Each step built on the last. Each step opened doors she couldn't see before. Within 5 years, her career looked completely different. Her salary had more than doubled. Her freelance work added another stream of income. She had partnerships producing passive revenue, and she launched online courses of her own, creating recurring sales every month. The most important part wasn't the money. It was the brand she built along the way. That brand brought speaking invites, consulting opportunities, and collaborations she never imagined. She didn't just earn more, she multiplied her opportunities. But there's another layer to her story that shows how compound thinking works across every area of life. All that learning and sharing made her incredibly valuable to her employer too. She became the go-to person for marketing questions, which led to leadership opportunities. The leadership experience qualified her for higher-level roles with stock options. The stock options became another wealth-building vehicle entirely separate from her other income streams. Do you see the pattern? Warren Buffett, the marketing manager, completely different worlds, but the same psychology. Neither relied on luck. Neither started with millions. Both simply learned to see every action as part of a bigger system. Both turned small wins into self-reinforcing loops. That's compound thinking in real life. And once you start looking for it, you'll see it everywhere. So why do the rich keep getting richer? It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not just inheritance. It's how they think. Most people think in straight lines. Work, get paid, save, have more, spend, it's gone. Addition thinking. Wealth builders think in compounds. They build systems where every piece feeds the next. They design loops where success creates more success. They ask bigger questions and look further ahead. Multiplication thinking. That's why their wealth accelerates while others stall. Not because they're smarter, but because they're playing a different mental game. And here's the truth. You can play that game too. Your brain may have been wired for survival in the past, but it can be rewired for wealth in the present. Every time you ask the 3 questions, you strengthen that wiring. Every time you choose learning over quick wins, you build a foundation for bigger opportunities. Every time you invest in systems instead of stuff, you accelerate the curve of your future. The beautiful thing about compound thinking is that it works in every area of life. Your health compounds when you make small, consistent choices. Your relationships compound when you invest in them regularly. Your skills compound when you keep learning and practicing. Everything becomes a system. Everything becomes an opportunity to multiply rather than just add. So here's your challenge this week. Pick one area of your life, money, career, relationships, even health, and apply compound thinking. Don't just ask, what result do I want today? Ask, what system can I create that keeps working tomorrow, next year, and beyond? Write it down, track it, build it, watch how fast the results begin to multiply. Because once you start seeing the world through compound eyes, you'll never go back. You'll notice patterns others miss. You'll see opportunities before they appear. You'll design a life that builds on itself, getting stronger and stronger with time. If this video gave you a new way of looking at wealth, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. See you next time.